Hi guys, it's Majesty Bianca here with the Financial Drive-Thru. Welcome back to the channel. And it is correction day in the markets actually. Bitcoin is at $3,971 and is struggling to break the all-important psychological level of $4,000. And when we do break it, however, it's going to be very important for Bitcoin to stay above the 4,000 range, because at that point we can now say we're ready to start the slow and steady climb towards higher highs. As you can see, there's correction going on through the markets, though EOS and Litecoin and Binance Coin, of course, are looking unaffected at the moment. The key thing, though, is despite it being a correction day as we're seeing, the news is ever so bullish in the markets. Just check this out. Nearly half of Millenial traders have more faith in crypto than the stock market. Cambridge Associates advises investors to buy cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin symbol added to Google keyboard on iOS, but not Android. This one in particular got me all excited because, just think about it. But we'll shed some light on this as we go along. Elon Musk has also spoken up about Bitcoin, says it has quite a brilliant structure and paper money is going away. And good old Pump is saying Bitcoin is fast evolving into a global reserve currency. So we're going to be looking at these headlines and a couple more, so stay tuned. You know what to do if you like this kind of content. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button so you can catch my videos when they drop. Also bear in mind that everything I say on this channel is my opinion, so I always expect people who watch this to do their own research, so we can actually have a good back and forth in the comment section. So that said, let's drive through. So I was hard pressed to find a couple of negative headlines, kind of like to balance the news, because if it's all too good, people kind of get the wrong idea. So it's always good to add a little reminder in it. So first of all, this headline though, Cambridge Associates advises investors, institutional investors mind you, to buy cryptocurrencies. Now they're basically advising investors to pay attention to exploring various ways of investing, for example, using illiquid venture funds to purchase tokens on trading platforms. Now, the idea is that if they come into the space, there's going to be a lot more liquidity and there's going to be a lot more confidence built in cryptocurrencies. So this is a good thing. This is something that I like to see. We look at some other headlines right now. We see Bitcoin symbol has been added to the Google keyboard on iOS, but not on Android. I have no idea why Android is being left out, but still, I see this as a step in the right direction. So here they say yesterday, February 19th, the Bitcoin symbol was unveiled on the Gboard, and that's supposed to be a keyboard for iOS devices by Google. Now, this is a huge step from Google, and it's being looked at as a competitive move by Google against Apple. And it's also an experiment by Google using a competitor's device before deploying the symbol on its own. So it's an interesting thing. I think this will go a long way towards adoption. I wouldn't say it's going to be like wow for everybody, because you have to still be involved in crypto and Bitcoin to even want to use this. It also hasn't been made into an emoji yet, but that will come in due time. So I am curious about what you think about this. Let me know in the comments if this is something that you're going to be excited about, or if this is something that you feel would just be only used for people in the crypto community, the crypto space, and wouldn't exactly make any waves. So let me know what you think actually. As usual, I'm going to link every article and every subject that we talk about in the details section. I want people to actually form the habit of going through that stuff, because you're going to find a lot of interesting links and a lot of interesting reads in there. And the general idea is also to give you time to do your own research and kind of create your own ideas about cryptocurrency and see where that takes you. So little things to bear in mind. Elon Musk, and this is huge news actually. Elon Musk has been someone that people have been looking towards to kind of move towards cryptocurrencies, and him saying that Bitcoin is quite brilliant in structure and that paper money is going to go away is something that is going to blow a lot of people's minds. But if you do go through the article, he did say that digital currencies are a far better way to transfer value than pieces of paper. Now, while that's all well and good, he does add that one of the downsides of crypto is that it's computationally energy intensive. Now, if you know anything about Elon Musk, he's all about conserving energy, and also, he does have a point when you look at it this way. Now, he goes on to say that it will not be a good use of Tesla resources to get involved in crypto. That's a bummer, right? Can you imagine how much more efficient mining would have become with Tesla's resources? So in case you're wondering, last February, he had tweeted that he owned 0.25 BTC. and he says that was freely given to him by a friend many years ago, and besides that he owns 0 cryptocurrencies. So this is not something to get too excited about in the sense that, oh, Elon Musk is getting into crypto. No, it's just he does believe that there's, you know, some good in this and that paper money is actually going to go away. So again, I want your thoughts. I want to know whether this is something that excites you. Do you see him changing his mind and swaying in and giving us some of Tesla's resources to actually improve the way things are done? Let me know in the comments. Moving on real quick, Bitcoin is fast evolving into a global reserve currency, says Morgan Creek Digital founder. Now this is Anthony Pompliano. He's popularly known on the internet as Pump, and he made this comment in the wake of a recent decision by Spain's second largest bank, BBVA, to block thousands of bank accounts belonging to Chinese nationals, allegedly without any prior warnings. I mean, these are things that are happening that are legit going to make more people run towards crypto, and also fueling the government's rhetoric that crypto is bad and it's used for money laundering and all that bollocks. But I mean, BBVA is claiming that it acted under the Spanish government's anti-money laundering program, so go figure. And check this, according to the Chinese Association in Spain, AIC, which kind of goes with the pain that you're feeling. But anyway, somewhere around 4,000 to 5,000 Chinese nationals have lost access to their BBVA accounts because of the ban. And this is just terrible. This is so bad. So Pump tweets here, he says Spanish bank BBVA has frozen the bank accounts of hundreds of Chinese without warning, and the legacy financial institutions are doing more to help the adoption of Bitcoin than they realize. I agree. Do you? Now, obviously, not everyone's going to agree with him, and I mean, if you have so much good news in the space, it's no surprise to see a headline like the one we're going to look at now. And if this just finishes loading, okay. So I'm going to highlight this because I think the image might be a bit difficult to read, but it says, "Crypto's not a substitute for the precious metal," says the World Gold Council. Now, I had no idea there was a World Gold Council, but I mean, this article to me was the height of pettiness, right? Now, for those of you like me who had no idea about the World Gold Council, it's a market development organization for the gold industry. Okay, moving on. Now, they're arguing that gold is very different from cryptocurrencies, saying that of course it's less volatile, has a more liquid market, and trades in a regulatory environment amongst other factors. Now, they add that gold's price has appreciated 10% per year on average since the collapse of Bretton Woods' monetary system, which pegged major currencies to the precious metal in the 1970s, like way back though. And so they're saying all this has happened while its volatility has also reduced over the last 4 decades. I do not get the basis for this comparison. Bitcoin was created in 2009, for God's sake. It doesn't add up. Bitcoin, I think, is doing way better than they're giving it credit for, because gold has been there since the beginning of time, pretty much. I mean, now they still go on to say that Bitcoin's price has been extremely volatile, some 10 times that of the dollar-denominated gold price. Okay, and they say it's not really good as a currency, let alone a store of value, potentially limiting Bitcoin's use as a transaction token. I see this as them feeling intimidated. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, it's not surprising that they're going to try and make this comparison, because everybody has been referring to Bitcoin as digital gold. But if we do follow the statistics that they're putting out there, and I mean, yes, they threw a chart in there, you know, it always baffles me how people just throw statistics and charts around and think that adds up. But Bitcoin has been only around a decade. So I'm sorry, I feel if they haven't figured out the market conditions for gold by now, then it's going to be kind of an issue going forward. But okay, so to me, they're obviously intimidated by this, and it is just interesting to see this kind of headline now, because I really was looking for something bad about Bitcoin, and this was as bad as it got, I think. Moving on though, my search for more bad news about Bitcoin brought me to this one by Bloomberg. And Bloomberg, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. Okay, Bloomberg thinks that the recent Bitcoin rally is just a delayed response to the JP Morgan coin. Now, as nice as it is to have JPM coin, I just found this really funny because they announced it since last week. Here the article says JP Morgan took the fintech world by storm when it revealed that it has been developing JPM coin, and it's supposed to be a new Ethereum-based stable coin that serves as a means to instantly settle payments between clients. Bravo, good stuff. Okay. Now, what happened was quite interesting though. Last week, this was reported by a couple news articles, right? And the cryptocurrency market failed to move higher. It didn't change anything. Nobody got too excited. I mean, sure, it's Jamie who's behind this right now. JP Morgan is a big name, but the market did not react, is the point we're trying to make. And then now we have things like the ETH Denver conference coming up and all the advancements made with the Lightning Network. Not to talk about the anticipation for the Constantinople fork, which probably was what catapulted Ethereum prices all the way to where we saw them this week. Which, if I may add, was what really led to all the other coins following suit, including Bitcoin. So now what's really interesting is that days after the rally and the announcement that they made, they're now claiming that this is like a delayed reaction and it was JPM coin that caused the whole hoorah. Again, to my point about throwing charts, you can see Bloomberg Crypto put out a chart right there, just epic, and they go, Bitcoin is getting a delayed boost from the announcement that JP Morgan has developed a digital coin to speed up payments between corporate customers. And of course they put a chart emoji there because, I mean, why? When moon? Now I may sound amused by it. I may sound amused by it, and for good reason. But I mean, this I found was pretty apt. If you watch Rick and Morty, this is epic. This is good stuff. Check this other headline. JPM coin drives crypto higher. Cryptocurrency weekly update from Global Block. I had to highlight this because it was just a hilarious quote. Whoever Jenny is, Jenny, I thank you for making me laugh this morning. She goes, first, they ignore you. Then they laugh at you. Then they fight you, and then you win. JPM coin. Well, that's how I picture the advert going. At its heart, JPM coin appears to be a little more than a stable coin, where effectively an individual or an entity can exchange $1 for one JPM coin, which they can redeem at any point for a guaranteed value of the notional $1. Wow, much wow. Okay, I mean, yeah, sure. I'm I just find this so hilarious. I don't know. On to more serious news. There is a 45-day countdown for the SEC decision on 2 Bitcoin ETFs starting today. Start your engines, people. We're back to more ETF talk. The US SEC is going to take an initial decision on 2 Bitcoin ETF proposals by the 5th of April. Now, the 2 Bitcoin ETF proposals which will be considered during this period are already filed VanEck SolidX and Bitwise Asset Management along with the NYSE ARCA. Now, once the proposal is officially published, the general public, you and me, will have 3 weeks time, in this case until the 20th of March, to file our initial response, and the SEC will have another 3 weeks, that is until the 5th of April, to make a decision or give itself an extension. Do we expect an ETF to get passed in this time? Let me know what you think, because right now everybody is a bit optimistic. The whole market is looking bullish. This does seem like a good time to pick up and start a bull run, and an ETF decision, a favorable ETF decision, will probably be the kind of thing that will set us off on our way. But then again, a bad ETF decision would also be the way to bring everything back down and possibly have people looking at $1,000 for a price of Bitcoin. So it'll be interesting to see where things go, because if Bitcoin goes down, it's gonna go way down. And if we go up, then we have quite a few levels before we can say we're out of the woods. I found this one particularly exciting. There are microtransactions that are now possible through the Lightning Network on Twitter. Okay, and a lot of people have been talking about this for the past couple of days. It's major excitement because people are looking at this as another angle, another direction towards mass adoption of crypto. Now here they say users can now send small Bitcoin transactions using the Lightning Network on popular social network Twitter, right? And the information was announced by Tippin. Tippin is the company that's handling this whole thing. Now, the company released a new Chrome extension that is available for Google browsers, and this will allow the Lightning Network to expand and help users process microtransactions. Now, with the extension, there will be a lightning bolt symbol. It looks kind of like this one over here beside the name. And it's going to be close to the like and retweet buttons. And in a recent tweet, the company explained how this process works. Like I said earlier, I'm going to link this whole article in the details section. So if you want to watch this little clip, be my guest, you could do this. I'll also be including a link to the extension in the details. So if you're interested in trying this out, you want to be part of the movement that's going on with the Lightning Network, by all means install the extension from the link in the details section. Everybody has to play their part if crypto is going to be fully adopted. That's the way I see it. Now on to more laid back news. Binance accidentally airdrops more BTT than expected and is asking for it back. Now, for those of you that don't know about the BTT airdrop, if you are a Tron holder and you had your Tron on Binance and I think Bithumb, I'm not sure how many other exchanges were supporting it, but if you had your Tron on any of these exchanges, you've probably received some BTT in your accounts. So due to staff error, they happened to give out more BTT than expected to some users, and now they're trying to ask for it back. So what's interesting is Binance has now sent out an email to users who received more BTT than expected and have withdrawn the funds. So if you had your BTT and you didn't touch it, they probably would just take it by themselves. But in case you'd withdrawn it or sold it, then you probably have gotten this email. So again, it's going to be here. They're saying, writing to inform you that due to an unexpected system issue, they mistakenly gave you more than they needed, and they're asking you to check your distribution history about the actual amount of BTT you were supposed to get. While they take full responsibility for the issue, they're politely asking for your cooperation in returning the amount that does not rightfully belong to you. So please ensure that you deposit back into your account the exact amount of BTT that was withdrawn, and then still go the extra mile to open a support ticket through the link below, and your support team will be in touch with you, telling you thank yous and all the extra things, and your prompt assistance is greatly appreciated. Warm regards, Binance customer support. So, would you return the money if you got it? That is my question of the day, because yes, we're all for civility and everything, but I mean, this doesn't happen every day, does it? So there are a couple funny tweets in the article. CZ was trying to explain. He says, while doing testing for fetch.ai, one tester inadvertently clicked an airdrop button for BTT, giving some BTT Launchpad buyers extra tokens. Now they're resolving the issue and no other people are affected. You would think more people would be affected by free money. You would think so, wouldn't you? You would think I would. I mean, I'm here making a video. I think I deserve some free BTT. BitBilly says, let this be a lesson for you and Binance. Beef up real-time audit controls for user balances and wallet balances. And it's an expensive lesson to be learned, but it's the only way Binance is going to get stronger. And apparently CZ agrees with him. So let me know if you got some free BTT. Let me know if you're going to return it. And if you're like me who didn't receive it and can only talk about it, let me know if you feel they would return the money. Sure, they should, but do you really think people are going to return free money? Let's just talk about this. Alright, so it will seem the madness in crypto has no ending. Craig Wright is supposedly going to testify under oath to prove that he is Satoshi Nakamoto. If you know a bit about Craig Wright, he's always in the news. People call him Fake Toshi because this is not the first time he's been claiming to be Satoshi Nakamoto. And it's kind of what even drove him to create Bitcoin SV and the whole thing about the hash wars and how messed up everything was, but he just wouldn't quit. Like, he seriously can't quit. So he's out there and he's claiming he's going to testify, and I mean, under oath, mind you, which is perjury if it's wrong, but I mean, he doesn't seem to care. So we have to ask ourselves if this is just for attention, if this is just headlines, or if it's really, really serious. So what I find particularly interesting though is another self-acclaimed Satoshi Nakamoto appears on Twitter and claims Craig Wright is fake. So I mean, the whole drama and everything is just going on and on. But if we go through this headline, this guy does seem to have, some of his story adding up. Then again, he had this whole letter to Craig Wright. I'm calling it a letter because it's proper long. So again, it's going to be linked in the detail. I'm not even going to touch this. But he's threatening to prove to everybody that he's a fake. And he threatened to use the Genesis block, which is the very first Bitcoin block, to put him where he belongs. So I mean, this should be some juicy stuff if you like all the crypto banter and you're into crypto gossip and everything. But again, this is white noise to me personally. So it's just something that, you can read. It's a good read. It's definitely a good read. It's quite interesting if you follow it. Is there any points to this, or is this just gist? I quite like how the writer closed. He goes, as convincing as these facts are, the unavoidable question is, why did Satoshi Nakamoto, if this one is real, decide to hide for 10 years before reappearing to claim he is the real Satoshi? Many people have been wondering about why all creators of other cryptocurrencies apart from Bitcoin are known, but the founder of BTC would hide his identity until now. Assuming he is even real, now what? Let me know what you think. If you like this kind of content, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, stay tuned for more. Once again, my name is Majesty Ibianga, and this has been another edition of the Financial Drive-Thru. Let me know if you liked it. Cheers.